So I just wanted to make a quick video introducing myself and having a little bit of discussion about what's going to happen in General Chemistry 3 this quarter. So my name is Dr. Lee West and I'll be your instructor. And as you're well aware, General Chemistry 3 this quarter will be held in a virtual mode. So, my name is Lee West, as I mentioned. I have an office which is in the Library and Science Building, room 131. You won't be able to access me there for probably the whole of the quarter being realistic, but it's worth letting you know where my office is. I have a phone number. You can phone me and leave a message there for me. I have an email address. You can either contact me if you want to in text via email, or you can send me a Canvas message. Either way works just fine. Every day I'm going to be having office hours via Zoom, and there is a link on the Canvas site as to that URL that you'll need to access that between 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. And then I've kind of set the class up so that you don't have to check in daily in order to be successful, because I understand that people's schedule is a little weird at the moment. But every Wednesday at 11 o'clock I'm going to devote 50 minutes where that's kind of really like homework time, and you can work on the homework problems that I assigned with my help. And again, that's via Zoom, and you can get that Zoom address from the Canvas website. So we'll be using the free OpenStax textbook. Some people need the ISBN and other things to work out their financial aid, so I've given that here. And yeah, you just go to openstax.org and you browse until you find the book. We're going to be using a Chemistry 2nd edition, and we're not using the Adams first version. We're using the conventional format. You will need a scientific calculator, and a graphing calculator is great to have for this particular class. It's got some really useful features on it. So if you've been on the fence about getting a graphing calculator, maybe you can get motivated to purchase one this quarter. Now, it is worth keeping in mind that you will have access to your computer while you're working through stuff this quarter. So you can always use a site like Wolfram Alpha to mimic the features that you would see on a graphing calculator. We're going to be leaning fairly heavily on ALEX this quarter. There'll be 1 or 2 ALEX assignments due every week, and so you'll need to go to alex.com and you'll need to set yourself up an ALEX account, and the course code for our class, there's a 10-digit course code that you'll have to enter, and here it is right here. Again, this is given on the Canvas site as well, so you can find that information there. So we will have quizzes every week that are going to be administered through ALEX, so you'll need to get your ALEX worked out fairly promptly, and the quizzes will be they'll be due in the weeks when we have no test scheduled. So I won't be giving makeup quizzes, but I will drop the lowest quiz score. The quizzes, I've set them for a duration of 50 minutes, and it gives you a little bit more time, just because the ALEX environment is sometimes a little unfamiliar, and they're typically about 7 questions. So fairly familiar for people that have had a class with me previously. There are going to be assigned readings from the book each week, and I'm asking you to make Cornell notes of those readings and upload them as a PDF to Canvas. You need to do this by Monday 6 a.m. All work for each week is due at Monday 6 a.m. So this is actually a deadline for every assignment each week. So all work is due at that time. So I've posted a little video and some links and stuff that help you understand what Cornell notes are about. You might have learned about them in College Success, which is why I chose that format. There's nothing sort of overly magical about Cornell notes. There are other systems of taking notes. I just want everybody to be using the same format, because I have to grade them, and then that way it makes everything easy for me. Every week that you'll also have to do a set of ALEX objectives. I'm trying very hard to keep these to be 10 or less. And again, you need to complete these by Monday 6 a.m. You should do the objectives before you attempt the ALEX quiz. Otherwise, you're kind of going to be underprepared for the quiz. The quiz has questions in it that are similar to those that you're going to see in the objectives. So we'll give 3 tests, and they're about every 3 weeks. And it's not quite certain what the format will be every week for these tests, because we're sort of figuring this out as we go along. So they could be a combination of multiple choice online within Canvas. They could be built up within Alex, and they could be things where you get sent an email, and then you have to print that test out and scan your results, scan your work, and post it back up to Canvas. So we'll kind of, we'll figure that out, and it might vary throughout the quarter, but we did this for the final last quarter and it worked pretty good. And then there'll be a final exam. The exam will cover all the material presented during the quarter, and we are not doing the ACS because we just have no capacity to be able to proctor it in a manner that it needs to be done. So we're not doing the ACS. So I apologize to anybody who brought review materials for that or had been studying up for it, but unfortunately it's just doesn't look like it's going to be possible for us to do that this quarter. Most weeks we will have a lab assignment given via Canvas. You will get lab credit for this class, and you're not going to miss out on anything just because it's a virtual class, but we're not doing a lab assignment in week 1. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about it for week 1, just to give people the opportunity to get used to what's going on. So how the class is built out is in a series of modules. There's one module for each week, and within those modules there are a series of resources that you can use to help you complete the assignments. There are videos that I've made, and then there are worksheets and answer keys, and if there's something that you feel that is missing from the resources in the modules, I can do my best to add it. So you should, sort of use whatever resources that you think you need to in order to make certain that you've mastered the content. And then you want to begin on the assessed activities. These are the assignments that are at the end of each of the modules. And a good place to begin there would be with the Alex objectives, and then work your way up to quizzes and other stuff that's a little more challenging. So something that you do want to be a little bit careful about is make sure that you work through the resources contained in the module rather than just focusing on the items that pop up in your to-do list. If you jump straight to the assessments, you can pretty quickly wreck your grade. So if you were to try and do some of these quizzes, for example, without having actually worked through any of the other resource content, then you could be in trouble. Okay, so I think we've kind of got through the logistics of what's going to happen, and the Canvas website is hopefully well set up so that you can follow through fairly easily. All right, so that's all I've really got to say. I'll be holding some information sessions in the first week of class, and you can get more questions answered there.